Today I'm going to be going over some things that is in Kohl's admin commands version 2, also known as the admin before Kohl's admin infinite, prior to scriptth, scripth, however his username was pronounced. So the things that I want to go over with it is stuff like backdoors, hard-coded stuff, and fixing up this admin in general, and fixing up some things that won't get you, the game creator, in trouble. So, first things first. Let's remove Master Chaos from the ban land list. Alright. There's a backstory as to why he was added, but we're removing him. The second thing we are going to do is down... Let's see. Here we go. Line 360. Now, what you're going to want to do is highlight this and hit enter. Now, you might be wondering why? Why did we remove that? What did that do? Well, what that actually does is it adds his name back into the admin list. It does this a total of 3 times. Oh, you also want to remove this one on line 375 as well, because if we just remove that variable, it'll destroy the script if we don't get rid of that if. It'll re-add his name 3 times, and here's our second one right here where it re-adds him. I mean, these are pretty pointless now. You probably don't have to remove them, but it's a good idea to remove them nonetheless. Alright, and there's a third one. Oh, just to let you guys know about that line. Crap, I probably should have let you know. It's on line 406, 406, like that. Alright, the next thing we're going to need to do is... It's right down here. Here's our third one. We can just go ahead up here, starting at line 2420, getting rid of that, and then we want to get rid of these if checks at line 2422. Get rid of those. Boom. Now we just got rid of all those re-adds because they're pretty pointless, and if he were still around and he was updating this admin, it would have been sort of pointless, but since he's terminated, it's like it'll... Not too sure. Anyways, getting back to what we were talking about. Next thing is we are going to be getting rid of this right here. All this right here, starting at line 2426. Hello guys, Future the Deathcaster here. Just wanted to give you an update as to why you want to remove that right there. Well, that used to be where it updated the admin. So not only is it pretty pointless, but it's also got an issue with it, with more specifically the insert services load asset. If you don't own the admin script, then it'll cache that result and it won't load the admin until a new server starts. Even then, you need to own this asset to be able to use the admin period. So getting rid of that and the future method I'm about to mention, the admin should work normally without issue. This is an issue that people have expressed in the comment section of the original model before. So this is the reason why it doesn't work and why it says it's not trusted for displays. Alright, back to the video. Backspace that. But you need to be careful, because what that actually does is it loads... or calls the method cheese, and the entire admin script is within cheese. So what you're going to want to do is, starting at line 199, and get rid of, yes, even the update stuff, because that's pretty pointless now, isn't it? Not going to be updating anything. Get rid of the end on line 2405. been following with me thus far. All right, this line of code right here, starting at 2387. This is the command bar. We can get rid of that. Next thing we are going to do on line 2386 is remove this Roblox team check, because Roblox no longer uses Roblox team for handling teams with the player. All right. So next thing we are going to do is, let's see, it should be around here. Oh, somewhere. Come on. Here we go. Took longer than I had hoped. But we are going to be focusing on line 393. Now, if you can't tell what the problem with this is, well, there it is. And you want to get rid of that. So, what you're going to want to do is, let's reset the zoom. You're actually going to want to, at 393, that line, actually highlight, but do not remove the entire line. Go until the if, until the else, backspace that, and then this one end right here, get rid of it, because this is what adds the chat to the logs in the first place. Now, the next thing we are going to need to do is right here for the admins list. Now, can you see the problem with that? If owners, if admins, if temp admins. Now, are you able to see the problem with this if v lower is not equal to catastrophe? Well, the problem with that is that this wouldn't be added. If you were to add him here, it wouldn't be shown. If you added him in the temp admins, it wouldn't show up. If you added him here in admins, which he already is, he wouldn't pop up. If you showed him, or if you added him to owners, still wouldn't be added. So, next thing you want to do is remove those checks. So, let me actually do this. User control F. Let me zoom in so that you can follow me better with this. Well, am I glad this admin doesn't have special. I guess you can ask about that in the comments below if you're really curious about that, but I wouldn't recommend it. All right, so we want to get rid of these if checks. Now we want to get rid of these ends. Now, don't let this throw you off, this one end right here. It's because for some reason, he actually put the second end right there on the next line, which doesn't make too much sense, but that's what he did. All right, so next thing we want to do, and this is very important, because now we're going to get into some of the more shady parts of the admin. Or one of the shadiest parts, I should say. It's down here in admin control. And it should be on... Where is it? Here we go. Hello guys, Future the Deathcaster again. Just wanted to let you guys know about this as well. Some of these users that are about to pop up for that were hard-coded in the admin to be banned, a few of them have been terminated, so if you want to remove them, you can go ahead if you want to. I don't think it's really necessary, because I think the rest of them left Roblox as well. Maybe one or two is still around, but if you want to remove them, go ahead. This admin isn't really used anymore, so it's your choice, really. Alright, back to the video. Line 2383, where it bans users. Now, you might be wondering what's so bad about this. Well, what's so bad about this is that there is secretly banned users in here, which if they were to try and join, they'd be at the time crashed and kicked from the game. And since just about every game at the time used Catastrophe's admin, those players were sadly banned from the game, from all the games that use this admin. And if you wanted to keep up to date, you had to put up with having this hardcode stuff. But now that he's banned, we don't have to worry about that. So what you're going to want to do, because you don't want to get rid of the whole ban list, you actually want to start at this or the space before the on line 2389. Go all the way over here to this parenthesis right here, hold shift, click right there, and then hit that. Hit backspace. Let's get rid of these extra parentheses. Now the next thing that you might want to do, this might be pretty pointless, but I'm going to do it anyways. Removing the code that which would prevent him from getting banned by his own script. He's terminated anyway, so we can just remove that. Alright. Now, there's something else we have to take care of. Yes, after all that, there's still work to be done. Yes, I know. The next thing we're going to need to do is remove these user ID checks. Because what this actually is Catastrophe's user ID, which I can show you with the command bar below. Print game dot players get name from user ID async. Boom, Catastrophe. That's his user ID. Basically what this did was it bypassed checks, and he could use just about everything in the admin. Couldn't ban him, couldn't do quite a few things. I mean, technically you could ban him via the ban command, but you'd have had to have removed him from all the admin lists beforehand. So what you want to do next is, I already did it, but remove those user ID checks. To make this easier, I recommend copying this, Control V or Control C, and getting rid of all these lines. Do this. Alright, we have another one right here. Get rid of that. And the next one. Get rid of this. Alright, next line. Get rid of this. Next line. Get rid of this. There we go. Alright, so the next thing we are going to have to do, if you hadn't seen it yet, is we are also going to be removing these NFS checks, because remember those those things where they added him to the admin list? Well, afterwards they would also set this variable to his username, but since this is now redundant, we can get rid of this. And if you need to keep track, you can also do NFS, because that's the only variable here that's actually named that. Make sure to get rid of this right here. Get rid of this right here. And get rid of this right here. Oh, there's another one right there. Okay. Get rid of this right here. Here's the original NFS variable. We can get rid of that. And finally, the last one that we'll need to worry about. Get rid of that. Excellent. It's perfect. Alright, so The next thing we are going to need to do has to do with, wrong method. These these methods, functions, or however you want to call them, because they do not have filtering. And if your game does not have filtering, well, Roblox is probably gonna most likely take down your game. Now, what you're going to do is you are not going to edit these. You're not going to edit these methods. Instead, we are going to edit the commands that use them. So, what we are going to do is message go. Oh, come on. No. Here we go. Here's our first one. Time message. So, what we are going to do is we are going to apply filtering. What we're going to need to do here is type, let's call this local F message, short for filter message, is game.chat filter string for broadcast. And then we are going to do message sub check 1 plus 1 player, because the player is the speaker, the one who said the command. And on this line right here, we are going to remove this and replace it with F message. Now, if you're wondering which lines these are, it should be on the screen visibly, but this line 513, 514 that we made these changes. All right. Next command. Doing the same thing, only since we don't have a check 1, we are just going to do filter string for broadcast message sub 3 player, and replace this right here with F message. And this is on now lines 518 and 519. All right, so the next thing, private messaging. Ooh, this one's important, isn't it? So, let's see here. Let me check this out. All right, so what we're going to be doing here is local F message is game.chat filter, not filter. We are actually going to be using filter string async, since this is directly private messaging a player. So what we can do is message sub check 1 plus 1 sender, and then actually we got to make a bit of a change to this command, huh? Crap. All right, not too big of a problem. So what we can do is for I v in pairs players do create that end. Then what we want to do is add in v here. Add in this as an array and give it the player. Then here we want to replace this with fchat or f message. And this will be for the private message command. What is this? Our hint, but we'll get to that later. So that's age. That's just you're an admin message for when you admin a player. Here we go, system message. All right, the same shtick. You do local f message is game.chat filter string for broadcast message sub. Let's see how many string. All right, 4 player. Then go over here. Replace this with F message. Check the rest, see if we missed any. And that's it. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to see about this hint. Same shtick again. F message is game.chat filter string for broadcast message sub 4. No, not 4. 3. Sorry about that. Player. And then we are going to replace this with F message. Let's see if we got everything. Rank, don't need to worry about that too much. Alright, server lock, don't need to worry about that. That's when a person tries to join a locked server. Alright. So, those fixes have been applied, but there's actually one more thing that we should do. And this involves the shutdown command. The shutdown command no longer works. And that is because it does with this old vulnerability with the string value. If it got too large, then it would crash the server. What we are going to do is we are going to be removing this entire section for that. And we are going to do game.players.playerAdded connect. Let's keep it consistent since this is an older admin. Function p end p kick. And then we want to do for I v and ipairs game, not ipairs, crap. Game.players get players do end v kick. All right. Now, we want to touch on these commands here. The ban and kick commands, or where it just generally removes a player. We want to go ahead here and remove these load strings. Let's see, where does it end? Here we go. Get rid of all that and replace destroy with kick. Now, we want to go to the kick command, go over here, and replace with kick. And we want to do the same with crash. Sadly, this won't even work anymore, so we can just go ahead and remove this. And do kick. Hello guys, Future the Deathcaster again. I don't know how this completely slipped my mind, but I forgot to change the destroys to kick when it banned a user from the game. So you want to go back to the admin control function, look for the check bans, check where it destroys the player, and replace those destroy methods with kick methods. Alright, that's all I wanted to update you guys on. Let's continue with the video. Alright, now everything should be in order. Everything looks good, I imagine. Yeah, I'd say everything looks good. Except one thing. You might be wondering, viewer, what else could we possibly be missing now? And that is going in here. Script base and local script base. We are actually going to be removing these. Now, this is something I want to make a big point of. These, believe it or not, are backdoors, but not like you think. People say that this is an intentional backdoor, but it's not really that. How these scripts work is that they took a string value and executed the value within the string value, or the string text. An exploiter back then was able to abuse this by entering the code into the code value right here. Let's say they put in print hello world, and then all they'd have to do was re-enable the script like that, and then it would execute on the server. That's been patched now because of filtering enabled, but there was that. So that was that backdoor. It's not anything super crazy now like it was back then. All you really need to do now is just delete them, and that's that. After you remove those, the commands that actually use these will stop working since they no longer have those. Local script base won't even work anymore because you can't use load string on the client anymore. I believe they implemented that change in, what was it, 2014, 2015, somewhere around there anyways. Now, after all that hard work, our admin is ready to be used. You can change this right here to your username. In this case, I'm going to do the Deathcaster. Let's load up a game, show that our admin will work. Even with these changes, we got our message saying we're an admin, and let's try kill me. And let's try our message. Let's try hi world. Perfect. Now, another thing before we end this off here. Put Kohl's admin version 2 into the server script service. Because we don't really, even though exploiters can't do a lot with it at this point, it's still a good idea to do that. Let's see, what else could we touch on here? I think I know what we could touch on here. We could touch on about how this only recognizes game owners if it is in a group place. Because this admin is from 2013, this was before group games were a thing. So what you can do here is type local creator ID is game.creator ID. Let's actually do a control H game.creator ID and replace with creator ID. Now you're going to see some squiggly lines as a result of that, but what we are going to do is go back up here, re-add that game.creator ID on line 199, and we are going to do if game.creator type is equal to enum creator type dot group, then local group service is game, keeping consistency with the admin group service. Local group info is group service get info async. And why did I do that? Oh crap, come on. Creator ID, because with group games how it works is that if you get the creator ID, it'll be the group ID. So that's a good thing to keep in mind when doing this. Now the next thing we want to do is if group info dot owner, then creator ID is group info dot owner dot ID. And that's how you implement for not only game owners but also group owners. We can go ahead and get rid of this line right here to line 197. If you need to see the actual code that I just added, let me zoom in some more. Come on, you can do it. There we go. I just added this service right here because that's what the admin uses. You can use whatever you want. Personally, I like to keep the consistency. Now, I believe that is all that we needed to change. removed our backdoors. Group owners will also be recognized. The commands, except the ones that use the old script base and local script base, those won't work anymore, but otherwise the commands are fine. And yeah, I think that covers everything. I don't think these VIP stuff will work anymore, so I wouldn't rely on those. Let's get rid of the auto update variable. If for whatever reason you wanted to still keep using this admin, be my guest. This is how you would fix it up and get it up and working again properly. It's not 100%, but this is what you have to do. All right. Hope you guys liked this video. If it helped at all, hope it did. And if you have any questions or just have anything to comment at all about the video, feel free to comment down below in the comments section. I usually read my comments and usually respond to them. If I either liking them, I think it's called hearting, favoriting them, something, or just commenting on them. All right. Have a good day, and bye-bye. One last thing I want to note before the video ends. These backdoors were not the reason why Catastrophe was terminated in the first place. Just wanted to get that out of the way and get that out there. All right. Bye-bye.